So we are a little over a week away from the Game Awards. And of course, to be expected alongside the Game Awards is a bunch of huge announcements. And of course, in previous years, Sonic is no stranger to making big announcements at the Game Awards. While I do think that it would be a little bit weird considering that the Game Awards snubbed Sonic Movie 3 pretty hard this year, I'm sure Sega still really wants to push it out to a bigger audience, and especially people that might not know a lot about Sonic, or what Sonic's been up to in recent years. So within this video, I'm going to talk about my predictions and also what I think is going to be happening for Sonic during the Game Awards this year, and why I think something big is coming for Sonic. So let's talk about Sonic in the 2025 Game Awards. The first thing I want to note is that 2026 is going to be Sonic's 35th anniversary. Every 5 years, Sonic does a really cool anniversary, and typically they go all out. Within recent anniversaries, we've had games like Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Generations, and Sonic Frontiers. So I would be very surprised if Sonic is not going to go all out with another mainline game this year, and it seems like we are really due for one very soon. I think 2026 is just going to be a really big year for Sonic. Obviously this year they really focused on Sonic Racing Crossworlds and the whole racing scene, and I think they took this year for kind of more of a spin-off, and while Sonic Racing Crossworlds is continuing to do very well, and did very well, I think Sega has really been working behind the scenes on something pretty crazy for the anniversary. But the simple question you might be asking is, why would they announce something at the Game Awards, and have they ever done that before? And the answer is yes, they actually have done stuff in previous years at the Game Awards. Not all of them though. The two most notable times that they have made announcements is 2021 and last year in 2024. In 2021 we got a movie trailer for Sonic Movie 2, and we also got a bunch of news that we had been waiting for a long time on Sonic Frontiers. And previously last year in 2024, Sonic Racing Crossworlds was actually revealed at the Game Awards. And this was actually something that wasn't leaked, and it was super unexpected to actually see. So he definitely has done stuff in past years. There are years like 2022, 2023 where he didn't really do too much there, but considering that this is an anniversary year and they have done stuff last year for Sonic, I think it's pretty expected for Sonic to do something for 2025's Game Awards. Now of course the question arises on what that could potentially be. I think it's three things that it could potentially be. The first thing is going to be the recent movie spin-off announcement. This was kind of shadow dropped and nobody really knew that this was going to be announced recently, but apparently in 2028 we're going to be getting a Sonic movie spin-off of another character that isn't Sonic. This is most likely going to end up being a Shadow the Hedgehog movie, as it would make the most sense in my eyes, but I think we could get an official announcement and potentially even just like a title or who the movie is going to be about, or even if we're really lucky we might get somewhat of a teaser on it, but I think it would be more likely for us to get more of a teaser on Sonic Movie 4. So that could potentially be the actual movie announcement, is maybe something on Sonic Movie 4, like a teaser or a trailer or something like that. But ultimately, I think that's probably the most unlikely option, as we still have a little ways to go till we get into the movie stuff. The second thing is it could potentially be a remake in the works. While Sega has many times said that they don't really want to do remakes on certain Sonic games like the adventure games, I do think remakes or potentially even a remaster could be very likely to come next year, as there is always a second title to come alongside the mainline title of the anniversary years. I think a few different options we could potentially see is almost like a 3D Sonic collection pack of having games like the adventure games, and maybe games like Heroes, or if they really want to go out there, adding games like Shadow the Hedgehog, or maybe even like Sonic 06 and porting that over to modern day consoles and PC. We could also potentially see a Sonic Heroes remake. I know that has been kind of thrown around in rumors and different leaks for the past couple years. Or maybe they finally want to take the jab at doing Sonic Unleashed. That could definitely be an option at the Game Awards, but I don't think it's the most likely. I, however, think that the most likely is going to be the announcement of the new mainline Sonic game. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a trailer, it could just be simply almost like a title or a name for the game, and them just saying that this is in the works and here's what the direction we're going to be going for 2026 and the 35th anniversary. I think the most likely option is going to be Sonic Frontiers 2. So many people have been asking for Frontiers 2, and Frontiers 1 was an incredible game. It brought so many people into the Sonic series, and it also just opened up a whole new window of what Sonic could really be. I think if they improved off of some of the things they did wrong in Frontiers 1 and kind of moved that over to Frontiers 2 and made an amazing game, I think Sonic Frontiers 2 could easily be one of the best Sonic games to ever exist. Or it could just simply be a brand new game. Maybe they don't want to go in the direction of a sequel. I mean, that isn't something that Sonic commonly does anymore. Obviously, it was a popular thing something in the past with like Sonic 2 and also like Sonic Adventure 2, but in recent years they haven't really done new things like making a sequel to a game. Mainline games, I should say. I would kind of like to see them kind of stick with the open world area for Sonic. I think it could work really well, but I could potentially even kind of see them going back to more of the boost formula. I don't think that would necessarily be a bad option, but I really am kind of wanting more of what that open world can really do, and it's kind of a mix of still being a boost formula, just kind of putting them in an open world. Just adding a lot more combat to it, obviously. Or hell, maybe they'll even pull the rabbit out of the hat and finally announce Sonic Adventure 3. That's pretty unlikely, as that's obviously a really big risk, but obviously something that would get a lot of people excited, and putting it on a stage like the Game Awards would get a lot of people to probably look into the game, if not follow the game up until its release. I mean, how many times have you interacted with somebody and said that Sonic is your favorite gaming series, and they said, oh, I played Adventure 2, I played the Chow Garden. Everyone knows of Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, so if they ended up finally announcing an Adventure 3, I think that would bring back a lot of people being interested in the Sonic series. But obviously there is that huge risk of people having super high expectations for a game like Sonic Adventure 3, as if Sonic Adventure 3 ended up being a flop, it could do extreme damage to the Sonic series. But if I had to put money on it, I think Sonic Frontiers 2 would be the announcement that we are going to get at the Game Awards, if there is one. There is, however, a chance that we definitely just never get anything, and it's potential that maybe even Sega or anybody behind like Paramount and stuff like that are a little bit mad that Sonic Movie 3 didn't get a nomination for Best Adaptation. I think that's still pretty crazy that it didn't. It kind of just seems like the Game Awards potentially forgot that Sonic Movie 3 was eligible this year for Best Adaptation. But at the end of the day, I think Sega as a business would probably kind of look to the side on that, just because the Game Awards is a really big stage to really reach out to just gamers all around the world. And they definitely still got some nominations for some of the games. Sonic Racing Crossroads got nominated for Best Family Game, Best Racing/Sports Game, and is even eligible for Player's Voice. I'm sure by Player's Voice we're just going to end up getting beat by Genshin Impact, as people just want free gacha pulls for winning an award, but it's cool to see Sonic Racing Crossroads get so many nominations, as it definitely deserves it, as it was an incredible game. And I think it for sure should win Best Racing Game over Mario Kart, in my opinion, as a fan of both of them. And you also have Sonic Rumble getting a nomination. While it recently just got its global release, the game is actually extremely fun. There's definitely issues with the games that I've already stated in the past, but the game is actually really fun and pretty addicting, to be honest with you. I actually find myself going back to Sonic Rumble quite a bit. So definitely don't forget to cast your votes, and hopefully you are voting for Sonic, as I will be in all of those nominations. And I hope that Sonic at least wins one of the Game Awards. I think it's pretty unlikely that he wins all of those nominations. As much as I would like to see it, it's pretty unlikely. But I'm really hoping that it's the Best Racing Award if I had to choose one. Or Player's Voice. Player's Voice would be pretty insane to see, but I just have some extreme PTSD from Sonic Frontiers losing to Genshin Impact. But let me know what you guys want to see announced at the Game Awards for Sonic, and what predictions you might have for the Game Awards this year. As much as I really don't want to watch it, just for the simple fact of how badly they snubbed Sonic Movie 3 in the Best Adaptation Award, I will be watching it in the sense that I just want to see something cool for Sonic be announced during this. And I hope I don't sit through the entire thing waiting for a Sonic announcement and nothing will happen. But I think it's pretty likely that something does. But with all that being said, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!